All right, so we're almost done with our hamburger here. And I want to show you two things. I want to show you how the pasteboard kind of works, and I want to show you how to reorganize and get something onto a new layer. So you can see here, I'm going to actually go to properties right here, and I'm going to double click it to collapse my properties panel, which will make my layers panel be more visible. And so I can see like I have hamburger buns, patty, tomato, lettuce, and cheese. This cheese, if I hit Control T on my keyboard, you can see some of it exists outside of this screen, so out of my pasteboard. And this is important because if I actually keep it this way, and then I go to select my cheese, and I then select the inverse of it and delete that, you could see that if my cheese was still a little too big, which it is a little too big, and I move it around, I have white that still exists. And that's because when I was actually deleting this, I was not deleting the white sitting out here and the white sitting down here, because the selection only goes to the edge of this image. So it's really important that when you're doing this, that your image is fully inside of Photoshop's artboard, so that way you're deleting the right amount of information. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and I'm going to select the inverse of this, and then delete the white out of there. I can then go and like resize this or move it however I need to, but that's actually a pretty good size. Okay, so then what I want to show you is like I can put my cheese like at the bottom. So I'd like you to put the cheese below the patty, but not below the bun. So pause the video here and see if you can do that. So layers are really important because I can actually take my cheese and I can put it down below the patty, but before the bun by clicking on the layer, dragging it and dropping it when the blue line appears between those. And now my cheese is back there. And if I actually made my lettuce invisible, I could see my tomato invisible, I could see my patty invisible, I could see the cheese, and then I could see the bun. So this is just to show you how those layers work together. The last piece we need is we need to separate our hamburger buns. We need the top bun on top of the burger, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select the top bun. So I'm going to use my object selection tool. I'm going to click on the hamburger buns layer, and I'm going to select around my top bun. I want my top bun selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and grab my move tool, and I can cut this. You can see that the second my cursor goes over what's selected, it's got a little square or scissors next to it. And I can take this and I can turn it into a new layer. So what I can do is there's a couple options. First, I have to create a new layer. So I'm going to go over to my layers panel, and in the bottom, I have all these options down here. One of them is to delete the layer with the trash can, but the one right next to it has a little plus sign, and that's to create a new layer. So I can create a new layer. It'll pop up. It's completely blank because it's a complete checkerboard. And then I can take this and I can drag when I'm clicked on the right layer, because you can see like it says its selection is empty because nothing's on this layer because I'm on layer 1. So I need to go back to hamburger buns, make sure I have the right layer selected. See, it's a common mistake people can make. Then I'm going to go and drag, and I'm going to go drop it. If I attempt to drop it on layer 1, you'll see it won't let me. But what I can do is I can actually cut it. So I can go up to edit and I can cut it, or Control X. Cutting will remove it and put it into my clipboard. And clipboard means I can paste it. So I can then go to layer 1 and I can edit and I can paste, or Control V. Then I can take my move tool and I can move it around. But you can see right now it's behind everything because it's below the cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this to the top bun, and I'm going to move it up to the top of everything else. Now I've got a layered hamburger. Here's the question though. What about this ring out here? I don't want this ring. Where does this ring exist? This ring exists on the hamburger buns layer. So I'm going to delete it. So I'm going to actually grab the rectangular marquee tool, be clicked on the hamburger buns layer, click and drag a square over that, and just hit delete on my keyboard. Now, if I hit Control D, it'll deselect everything. I want to move all of these to the center, but you can see when I do that, it's only going to do the top bun. To select them all at the same time, you click on the top layer, hold Shift on your keyboard and select the bottom layer while holding Shift. It will make them all light gray, and you can move them together into the center of the image. And that's how you can make a hamburger.